The phone screen glowed in the dark, casting a cold blue light across my face as I stared at the message. Late night at the studio again, don't wait up. My wife's words, sent at 11:47 p.m., felt like a blade twisting in my gut. For the third time this week, Sarah was nowhere to be found, her absence a heavy silence in our cramped Brooklyn apartment. The hum of the refrigerator filled the void, its low drone mocking the quiet that had settled between us. I scrolled up through our chat, my thumb trembling, past her one-word replies, her vague excuses, her emojis that once felt warm but now seemed like deflections. My heart thudded, a mix of dread and denial, as I noticed the timestamp. She'd been active on Instagram 10 minutes ago, posting a story from a dimly lit bar, her laughter caught in a fleeting video, a man's voice in the background, John's voice. I set the phone down on the coffee table, its wooden surface scratched from years of careless evenings, and ran my hands through my hair. The apartment smelled faintly of her lavender perfume, a scent that used to ground me, but now felt like a ghost haunting the space. My mind raced, replaying the past week. Her pulling away when I reached for her in bed. Her phone angled just out of my view. Her sudden need for space, after months of what I thought was unshakable love. I wanted to believe it was nothing, stress from her graphic design job, the pressure of city life, but the pieces didn't fit. Not anymore. The next morning, I sat at our tiny kitchen table, the sunlight filtering through smudged windows, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air. Sarah breezed in, her hair tousled, her smile too bright, like she was performing for an audience of one. "Morning, babe," she said, pouring coffee into her favorite mug, the one with the chipped handle. Her voice was casual, but it carried an edge, like she was testing me. "Did you have fun last night?" I asked, my tone neutral, though my pulse quickened. I watched her closely, noting the flicker of her eyes, the way her fingers tightened around the mug. "Yeah, just caught up with some friends," she replied, not meeting my gaze. She scrolled through her phone, her thumb moving too fast, like she was hiding something in plain sight. "John was there. You remember him, right? From the co-working space." John. The name hit like a punch. I remembered him. Tall, charming, always lingering too long at her desk during her freelance gigs. I nodded, my throat dry, and mumbled something about work. But my mind was elsewhere, snagged on the image of her Instagram story. The way her hand had brushed his arm in that fleeting clip, the intimacy of it searing into my brain. That evening, I couldn't shake the unease. While Sarah showered, her phone buzzed on the counter. I hesitated, my heart pounding, knowing this was a line I'd never crossed. But the weight of suspicion was crushing. I unlocked it. Her passcode was still our anniversary, a cruel irony, and opened her messages. The chat with John was pinned at the top, a string of late-night texts, heart emojis, and a photo of them at the bar, her lips grazing his cheek. My stomach churned. I scrolled further, finding plans to meet again, cryptic messages about needing to talk, and a voice note from her, her voice soft, saying, "I can't stop thinking about last night." The bathroom door creaked open, and I fumbled to lock the phone, my hands shaking. Sarah emerged, wrapped in a towel, her expression unreadable. "You okay?" she asked, tilting her head, her wet hair dripping onto the hardwood floor. "Yeah," I lied, my voice tight. "Just tired." But inside, I was unraveling, torn between confronting her and clinging to the hope that I'd misunderstood. The rest of the night passed in a haze of forced normalcy, her cooking pasta, me pretending to laugh at her stories, the clink of forks against plates sounding like a countdown to something inevitable. Over the next few days, I became a detective in my own life, haunted by digital footprints. I noticed her location sharing was off, her phone always face down, her social media stories carefully curated to avoid John's presence. But the signs were there. A tagged photo from a mutual friend, showing them at a rooftop party, his arm around her waist, a Venmo payment to him for drinks, time-stamped when she'd claimed to be working late. Each discovery was a splinter under my skin, sharp and undeniable, yet I rationalized them away. Maybe they were just friends. Maybe I was paranoid. Maybe our love was still enough. But the doubt gnawed at me, amplified by the silence of our shared life. Our apartment, once a haven of late-night talks and tangled sheets, felt like a stage for a play we were both too tired to perform. I started checking her phone when she slept, my guilt warring with my need to know. Each message I found, flirty, intimate, laced with a familiarity that wasn't mine, chipped away at the trust we'd built over 3 years. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but fear held me back. What if confronting her meant losing her entirely? The breaking point came on Friday. Sarah said she was meeting a client, but her phone buzzed with a text from John. "Can't wait to see you tonight." I sat on our couch, the leather creaking under me, and stared at the message until my vision blurred. The city outside our window roared. Horns blaring, voices shouting, but inside, it was just me and the truth I could no longer ignore. When she came home at 2 a.m., smelling of whiskey and his cologne, I was waiting. The living room was dark, lit only by the flicker of a streetlight through the blinds. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. Her eyes widened, but she recovered quickly, tossing her bag onto the chair. "What's wrong?" she asked, her tone defensive, like she already knew. "I saw your texts," I said, holding up her phone. "With John. All of them." Her face crumpled, but only for a moment. Then she straightened, her jaw tight. "You went through my phone? That's low, Matt." "Don't." I snapped, my voice breaking. "Don't turn this on me. You kissed him. You've been lying to me for weeks, maybe longer." "What?" She looked away, her fingers twisting the hem of her shirt. "It wasn't supposed to happen," she whispered. "It was just a moment. I was lonely. You've been so distant, always working, always on your laptop. So this is my fault." I shouted, my heart pounding. "I've been here, Sarah, trying to hold us together while you're out with him, posting stories, pretending everything's fine." Tears welled in her eyes, but I saw something else. Defiance, maybe guilt, but not enough. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. "But John, he listens. He sees me." The words cut deeper than any kiss. I stood, my hands shaking, and grabbed my phone. "You want to know what I did?" I said, my voice low, dangerous. "I recorded you. That night you came home late, slurring about your client. I have it all, your lies, your excuses. And I sent it to John's girlfriend." Her face went pale, her mouth opening in shock. "You didn't," she whispered. "I did," I said, the weight of my own betrayal settling in. "If you're going to burn our life down, I'm not going alone." The silence that followed was deafening, a chasm we could never cross again. As she stood there, tears streaming down her face, I realized the truth. Love wasn't enough to fix this. Not anymore.